Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. I'm so glad you're here. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, but what do we got for this short trading session on Friday, right? Well, this week we pushed the markets up higher. We've been up every day. And that's typical. We got the retail traders, which are known as the amateur traders, and they're the ones buying into the market. They're the ones making it go higher. Now we got the professional traders coming back next week, and they're going to smash this thing over the head. Now it's gone up on this light volume week. Next week it's going to go down on heavy volume. Just my take. Happens about 85% of the time. It does the opposite of whatever happens this week, the following week after Thanksgiving. Now this was just my take. I do think that the highs are already put in on the NASDAQ. The highs are put in on the S&P. Those happened back in October, and those highs I think will hold. Maybe they can push them up and retest them. I don't think so, though. I think the market's going to start to come in. A lot of people think they're just going to print money, and they're going to print money, but the bond market's broken, and when the bond market finally breaks, it's going to send everything down with it. Stock market, housing market, bond market will be collapsing. Everything will be coming down together. Now, this is fascinating. Zillow comes out with an article that the majority of homes in the United States lost money in 2025. They've gone down. This is in nominal terms, right? In terms of dollars, in terms of gold, you're down already 50% for the year, right? And I mean, you see a lot of people think their house is actually going up or staying up, right? But it's really just your purchasing power of the dollar going away. It's going down, 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 down. Now today, there's a big, large percentage of the population that cannot afford to buy a home. This is the largest percentage of the population that cannot afford to buy a home in the history of the United States. Now, isn't that fascinating, right? Home prices are at these record highs, but nobody can afford to buy these homes. Now, I predict that 2026 will be a disastrous year for real estate. I really believe that. Now, maybe just in the number of transactions. I'm a realtor. We like to see the transactions up high, but if people don't come down on the price, transactions are going to be frozen. Nobody can buy at these prices, right? Don't worry, though, that Donald's got the plan. We got the 50-year mortgage coming out. We got portable mortgages. We got Fannie and Freddie. They're going to guarantee all the mortgages with the taxpayer money. This is going to be great. Just listen to Dave Ramsey, Barbara Cochran. They'll tell you 2026 is going to be the best year ever. It's always a great time to buy a house if you're a real estate broker, right? That's what we're trained to say in real estate school. But I'm telling you, it's just not true this year. 2026 will be complete disaster. 2025, a majority of homes went down, right? Very few transactions happening in 2025. I think it's even going to be less in 2026. Now, I do think that house prices will come down 40% in nominal terms. In real terms, you've been beat over the head already. I mean, it used to cost 300 ounces of gold for the average price home. Now it's about 100 ounces of gold. That's a 66% drop. And that's just in the last 10 years. You dropped 66% in terms of real money, in terms of purchasing power. Yes, your house is up there, and in your area, they never come down. Because why? Because there's no divorce in your area. Divorce would be a forced sale. There's no job losses in your area. Everybody keeps their job in your area. When people lose their job, what happens? It's a forced sale. They can't afford to pay the mortgage. Now, what about death of the boomers, the boomer generation, right? You don't have any boomers in your neighborhood, do you? Because those people are going to start to die off. Age out, I guess, is the political correct term on that. But the baby boomers will age out. And as soon as I age out, my heirs will put the house on the market and sell it the next day, right? Now, these Airbnb people, these people are in a lot of trouble. Airbnb, they're having a little bit of problems, right? A lot of neighborhoods don't want Airbnb in there. They don't want a new neighbor every other night, right? A pedophile this night, an axe murderer the next night, a zombie the next night. Who knows who's going to be their neighbor, right? They don't want, so they outlaw it, right? So these people that were told to go out and buy 5, 10 houses at a time and then manage them like a hotel, they're in a lot of trouble. And they're in a world of hurt, and they're trying to get out as fast as they can. They want to just leave. They want to get out. So this is kind of forced selling. This is the inventory that's going to be coming onto the marketplace in 2026. A lot of it's already starting to come onto the marketplace. Matter of fact, inventory's been up, straight up, for the last 24 months, for the last 2 years. Inventory's done nothing but going higher, right? And they're just sitting there now. They're just sitting there. We got fascinating times, though, right? Let's talk about this 50-year mortgage for a second, right? Now, the National Association of Realtors, now they came out and they say the average person, the age of the average person buying a home right now, 59 years old. 59, right? Now you tack on a 50-year mortgage, they'd have to live to be 109 just to pay it off. Now back in the day, my oldest client was 85 years old. I remember, nicest man. He wanted to get a 30-year loan. Now I knew this kind of shady mortgage broker. We went and got him a 30-year loan. Now I did not know he was not going to live to 120, but he passed away shortly after that. The price had already dropped. He had already lost all his equity, so his heirs just gave the keys back to the bank. Now, the banks weren't too happy with Tall Mike giving the 85-year-old man a 30-year loan, but like I told them, I didn't know he's not going to live to be 120. He looked in good health when I sold him the home, but we got a problem out there, right? I mean, there is a problem. This 50-year loan is not going to correct all the problems. It's not going to solve the problem. Now, we got something very fascinating to me. Anyways, this is the first time in history where it's cheaper to buy a new home than the existing home, right? New homes are cheaper than existing homes. That's very fascinating to me. There's usually a 30 or 40% premium on the new home, but right now you can get a new home cheaper than the real home. Why? Why is that? Well, the builder knows they have to sell because they have to sell, get the money so they can build the next house. Now, if you're in an existing home, you're not going to sell because you can't get what Billy Bob got. Billy Bob got out up here. You can only get this much. You're pulling your home off the market. Do you realize that most homes ever have been pulled off the market? Where it's a record number of homes that didn't sell that people are taking them off the market. Now, why is that? Well, because they're not motivated enough. Now, motivated sellers, they'll become motivated soon enough, and then they'll become a forced seller. You see, a lot of people are very angry. A lot of people very upset, especially people that bought the new homes, right? Now, for example, I'll just use a typical subdivision up in, well, pick any area. Pick Vegas, pick Texas, pick Florida. I'll pick Sacramento, right? Say you went out and bought we'll just use Lennar. I don't like Lennar very much anyways. We'll just say you went and bought a home from them for $600,000, right? And they're building this big subdivision. They're telling you all the great plans they have and all the neighbors, and everything's going to be beautiful. So you jump in at $600,000. Well, the homes around you aren't sold yet. Well, there's a problem. They can't sell the homes, right? Because the prices are coming down. But Lennar, they have to sell the homes. So what do? They dropped it down to $500, down to $450, but you put $300,000 down. You got your life savings in this home. You don't want to lose your life savings. You want to get $600,000 that you paid Lennar for. But they're selling the next door neighbor's house for $450,000. Man, are you upset? Matter of fact, you're downright pissed off, right? Because you were stupid enough to put $300,000 down on the Lennar home that was $600,000. So you got $300,000, but that's next door neighbor selling for $450. His is brand new. Yours has been lived in. The best you can hope to do is get $400,000 for it. So you put it up, you get your $400,000, but you got closing costs. Don't forget those closing costs. That'll take you down to about $360. So you out of your $300,000, good news, you get $60,000 back, right? You only lost $240,000 by buying that new home. You see, that's the problem right now. Now I keep telling you that. Well, I keep telling you that home prices are going to come down 40% in nominal terms. Now, a lot of people say 50, 60, could be as high as 70, 80, 90, even if we hit that Great Depression. But I'd say 40% is pretty logical, right? You'd have to come down, well, by 50% just to get back to normal, right? Where the average price income can afford the average price home. That's pretty much where normal, and that's about half off from here, right? So I think we'll come down at least 40% in the nominal terms once this problem starts to get, well, resolved. When there's so few transactions, something has to give, right? Now, granted, people's incomes, right? They could double, right? And that would be one way to solve the problem if everybody's income in the United States magically doubled in price. Now, maybe to Donald, he'll send out the UBI payments. First one's only going to be $2,000. Well, I don't think that's going to double your income. But if your income were to double, then home prices would be priced appropriately here. But since they're probably not going to double, I think prices will drop 40, 50%, right? And that's in nominal terms. Now, in gold terms, in terms of real money, they're going to keep falling. Matter of fact, I keep telling you, gold's a little expensive. A lot of people don't want to shell out $4,500 for a 1 ounce buffalo or 1 ounce eagle. They don't want to shell that out. Well, maybe they should look at silver. Silver just barely over 50, maybe 53 now. I don't really know exact price, but let's call it 53, right? Let's just use round numbers so I can do the math, but $50,000, right? You start stacking silver now. I say you get 500 ounces. 500 ounces. How much would that cost right now? That'd be about $25,000 right now. So you can turn $25,000 into the average price home, which is about $400,000 right now. Do you see how that's going to work? One's going to come down, the other's going to go up, and they're going to meet in the middle, and that 500 ounces, you can swap it for the average price home. That's just my take. That's what I've been telling you since I started my channel. When I started my channel, silver was about $20 an ounce, right? And that you could have went and got your 500 ounces, had $10,000, stuff it away, bury it in your backyard, stick it in a drawer, do something with it, right? Just hide it from people and wait. And right now you'd see that it went from $20 up to $53. Now I do think we're going to hit 300, maybe 400, maybe 500, and I do think those houses will come down. You're at 400, 350, 250, and maybe 250, right? Where silver's 500 an ounce times 500, you got your 250,000, right? And then you can just swap out. That's just my take. That's just what I'm seeing. But I do think we're coming into the worst year ever. Now, granted, look, I know I should sell my property, but it makes me feel rich because the price is up here. I know the price is going to get chopped in half, but I got it paid off, so I'm okay, right? The house is still the house, right? The house is still the house. That's funny with Bitcoin people. They got so depressed when Bitcoin went from 127 all the way down to 80. They were just crying their eyes out. It was pretty sad, right? Now, if gold went from 4,500 down to 3,500, I'd be doing the party dance. Why? Because I know that's real wealth. Gives me a chance to get some more, but the Bitcoin people, the only reason they buy it is so that it goes up more, right? So they know Bitcoin's fake, and if nobody's going to buy it from them, they can't get out. So they were very sad when it went from 127 down to 80. Now it's back up around 90,000 now, but it is not done falling yet. Might get up to 95, might get up to 100,000, but it's going to come down, go into the 70,000, go into the 60,000. And these Bitcoin people, they know it's not real wealth, right? They keep telling you it's going to replace gold. Eric Trump, he just came out saying that Bitcoin's going to replace gold. I don't see it that way. Number one, they have nothing in common. Bitcoin's down for the year. Gold's up 60%. Really? Do you want the fake stuff? It's not anything really, right? Or do you want the real stuff? I get some of that real stuff. Matter of fact, I get some silver, 500 ounces, so you can trade it for the average price home. Now, this is just my take, right? This is just my take. I'm Tall Mike. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. We're a little short one today, but hey, the markets are closed. No, short day, right? Short day, they're not closed, but everybody's out shopping. Black Friday, get out there, get the deals. Hurry up, you're going to miss out. Give me the thumbs up, punch the subscribe button, and we'll talk again next week. Bye-bye now.